Welcome to the I Love Coaching podcast, the show where we help coaches, entrepreneurs, and leaders build businesses that create massive impact. I'm Adam Roach, alongside my incredible co-host,
Jess Webber, and we're here today to bring you the best strategies, mindset shifts, and real-life success stories to help you level up in your coaching journey.
Whether you're launching your coaching business, scaling to 6 or 7 figures, or just looking for inspiration to push through, this podcast is your go-to resource.
We're bringing you expert insights, real talk, and actionable items every single episode. So if you're ready to take your coaching game to the next level,
then let's dive on in.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. If you didn't notice, because you may be listening to this episode instead of watching, you'll realize that it's me, Jess, not Adam, launching this thing. And that's because today is a solo episode. I know you're probably used to hearing Adam and I bounce ideas off each other. And I just wanted you guys to know that this was not because we've parted ways, he's left the company or the podcast or anything like that. We just tried to sync up our schedules this week, and our calendar said there is no way that is happening to film this episode. But ironically, that is kind of the point, because I wanted to take today to share a message that is near and dear to my heart with you, our I Love Coaching podcast community. And I did not want to wait until life was perfect or calm to record it, because life honestly is never really like that. This week has been a rough one, to say the least. I have been at the hospital with my mom since Saturday morning, and she is dealing with sepsis and an infection in her bloodstream after a round of chemo and treatment of her stage 2 lymphoma that just went sideways. And so it's one of those things that, whether it's that story or my son's heart journey that really kind of was the catalyst for the beginning of my perception of time, it has created this narrative for me that is different than what I see a lot in the lives of coaches today. My son's heart journey has been something ongoing. My mom's chemo is brand new. But it really helps put into perspective that time isn't theoretical. It's not a concept. There's really no such thing as a productivity hack. It's life. And so I think that it is important to share this message, so much so that I've actually developed a keynote that I give around the country focused on making time matter. And so today, as a solo episode, I just wanted to share a little bit of that, not the whole thing. But I wanted to give you a little bit of what I believe coaches specifically need, because coaching attracts people with big hearts, and big hearts tend to default to give until there's nothing left. So the premise of this is your calendar isn't the problem. Your defaults are. And I know that sounds like a small distinction, but honestly, it changes everything. Most people don't have a calendar issue. They have a default settings issue, a default yes, default urgency, inbox, being the dependable one, default putting your business growth in the leftover scraps of your week. I'll get to it if I have the time. And if you're a coach who's trying to build momentum, get clients, deliver well without burning out, those defaults are going to quietly sabotage you. So today, I want to give you a reset sequence that I use when things feel heavy. It's called the BEAT method. Break, examine, audit, tune. And by the end of this episode, you'll know what's hijacking your week and what to install instead. So let's make this painfully practical. You know, I love practical and tactical. And so I hear coaches all the time say, I need a better calendar. I need better time blocks. But your calendar is just a mirror. It reflects the decisions you're making and the priorities you're choosing. Defaults are decisions that you keep making without realizing that you're actually making them. So if your week is filling with noise, it's honestly not because you're weak. It's because your default settings are running your life. And I want to add this because it's personal for me. I've been in roles previously where urgency was rewarded. Fast responses, always available, always on call. And honestly, that trained my nervous system to treat urgency as leadership. But urgency is not leadership. Responsiveness is not the same as effectiveness. And if you let urgency run your week, your business will always feel like it's chasing you. Beat is that reset when you can't take a month off to rebuild your life, but you also can't keep pushing the way you have been. It's mechanics over motivation. Break, examine, audit, tune. Step 1, break. And this is BRAKE. It's where you stop reacting or the spiral that has gone on so long and you choose. Here is what I want to do, and here is what I should not be doing, right? So I'm going to challenge you here. Open your calendar, look at the next 5-7 days, right? And ask, where is the space built into my calendar for what matters most? Not the loudest thing, not the most urgent thing, not the idealized, oh, I should be doing that thing. What matters most? Because honestly, when my son was dealing with some of the more severe heart issues, it messed up my entire concept of time. I had to walk into the ER room while they were rolling in a paddle cart. You know, the ones that you see on TV shows where like the room gets silent and everybody kind of stands around because they're scared to even breathe. Yeah, that paddle cart. And I totally changed my perception of time that way. Not because he ended up being paddled, because I had the ability to talk to doctors and come up with an alternative solution. But seeing that paddle cart next to my son's bedside changed everything. You have to decide what matters to you. And in that moment, staring at that cart, it was not the lists, it was not the emails, it was not the meetings. It was that kid on a gurney. So I need you to learn really quickly that you don't have to make space in your calendar for later, because later's not guaranteed. It's not promised. Later is a lie that you tell yourself when you're avoiding a hard decision. So here's the break tool. 90 seconds, 3 slow breaths, and say, I don't need to do more. I need to do what matters. Step 2, examine. This is where you name the default that's driving your week. Because when you can name it, you stop being confused or you stop creating excuses for yourself. The defaults I see the most in the coaching world are these 4. So the first one, the yes default coach. You say yes because you can, because you're capable, because you don't want to disappoint people, and you fill up your calendar with things that are not building your business. Number 2, the fixer default coach. You're always supporting, always solving, always helping. You're exhausted because you're always on call. And again, no space for what matters. The third coach, the inbox first default coach. You start your day with everybody else's priorities and then try to build your business around whatever scraps of time exist in the end. And finally, number 4, the visibility avoidance coach. You love coaching, you love delivery, but you avoid the things that create clients for your business. And you tell yourself that you'll get to connecting or marketing when you have the time. If one of those is you, then I need you to pause and think. Those defaults are not your personality. Those are the patterns that you've created for yourself. And patterns can be changed. Step 3, audit. This is the step that connects time and income to impact. It's where most coaches honestly finally get honest with themselves. And here is the only question that you need. Does this action or activity create clients or serve clients? So creating clients, I mean invites, follow-ups, conversations, networking, or visibility with intention, something like that. Whereas serving clients, I mean sessions, prep time, delivery time, improving your processes so things get lighter. So creating or serving clients. And then the third bucket in the coaching business, right? This is ops, admin, inbox, tech, tinkering, overthinking, perfecting. And y'all, this is self-talk sometimes. Most coaches spend the majority of their weeks in their ops, in that third bucket, or their admin, their inbox, their tech. And they call spending time in that third bucket progress. So I'll challenge you, go look at your calendar. Look at last week. Where did you spend the time in client creation or client service? How many hours were there, not for learning, not for planning, not for designing, but inviting and following up to grow your business? If it's under 3 hours, I'm going to challenge you. You don't have a strategy problem, you have a protection problem. And I'll say it even more bluntly. If client creation is optional in your calendar, you're always going to lose. Excuse me. Step 4, tune. We replace the old defaults with the new ones. We're instilling 3 defaults here: sell, serve, and system. Those 3 buckets. Default 1, the sell block, 2 times a week, 45 minutes. Make that a non-negotiable. That's where you follow up with people or send new invitations if you need to start new conversations. Make offers. It's as simple as saying, hey, I've got 1 spot open for whatever your result is in working with you. Want me to send the details and see if it fits? That's it. No essay, no TED Talk, no landing page, no PDF. Make it simple to sell. Default block 2, service. Once a week, 60 minutes. That's where you're reducing your delivery weight. So if you're the person who right now is customizing something for every single new one-on-one client that comes on, figure out what's something that you can create that produces a higher level of service while reduces the overload for you. So maybe that's an onboarding expectations doc or a session template, a repeatable framework you teach every client, or saved response in your email. If you have to reinvent your delivery for every person every time, you're always going to feel behind. 3rd default, your system block. Once a week, maybe 30 minutes. This is your reset. Your email, your tasks, your calendar. Go through, clear the noise, close the loops, and choose the next right action. And yes, I'm still going to quote Dan Martell because it's true and it's one of my favorite lines. Your email is a to-do list created for you by other people. It's your job to decide what gets promoted into your actual calendar. This is how you change the way you spend your time without becoming a person who lives inside your calendar. You change your defaults. So I want to land with this because it's something real. If you're in a season of life where it feels heavy, where your mother needs you because she's in the hospital, where your kid or your husband or spouse or business partner or whatever needs you, right? Where your nervous system is tired, I just want you to hear me. Your time isn't a productivity contest. It's your life. And coaching is beautiful, but it will take everything you give it if you don't install boundaries that protect what matters most. So here's your action for me. Open your calendar right now, unless you're driving, of course, and then pull over and open your calendar. Install 1 default. So if you're overwhelmed, install the sell block because that momentum will reduce your anxiety. If you're overbooked, install that serve block because lighter delivery saves your brain. If you're scattered, install a system block because clarity comes when you're closing those loops. And if you want help building any of this into actual momentum in your coaching business, come join us in the next I Love Coaching Challenge. That is the fastest way to take what you're learning and put it into motion with support. So as you've heard, go to ilovecoachingco.com/challenge and join the next one because your calendar isn't the problem. Your defaults in your coaching business are, and you can change them. Thanks, everybody.